Hey there, Alex here. This is going to be one of my most important videos to date. It will show you how to release stuck emotions and contractions in the body. If you're feeling any stress, anxiety, anger, or any negative emotion at all that's disturbing, this is most often due to this stuck energy within the body. This can be a combination of unresolved or residual emotional energy or trauma, body memories, or emotional holding patterns. The symptoms of this include anxiety, emotional turbulence, an overactive mind, the inability to think clearly and rationally, and sometimes physical illness and disease. As this stuck emotional energy is resolved and released, tension and contraction in the body decreases, anxiety lessens, emotional triggers diminish, and clarity of thought emerges. This leads to more ease and effortless flow, allowing more of what's desired to manifest. In yogic philosophy, these unresolved emotions and traumas are called samskaras, impressions or imprints left on the subconscious mind by past experiences, actions, and thoughts. These samskaras can manifest as patterns of tension, constriction, or holding in the physical body, a phenomena recognized in the fields of trauma therapy and body-orientated psychotherapy. In non-duality speak, we may call it latent traces of the separate self in the body-mind, ready to release and dissolve with awakening to one's true nature. This unresolved and unreleased density and contracted energy within the body is usually made up of several layers. And within the layers may be pockets of contracted energy associated with particular triggers, exposure to particular people, experiences, or situations. The triggers activate the energy. A surge of emotional energy rushes in, which fuels a peak in mind activity. The emotional energy can be triggered by particular events, people, or situations, but it can also be triggered simply by imagining those events, people, or situations. Many of the layers have their roots in childhood trauma, the original pain of separation, or even generational trauma. The deepest layer is often the most intense and is usually connected to childhood trauma, significant shocking or painful experiences, and existential fears like ill health or death. As you move outward through the layers, the samskaras tend to be more recent and less intense, but can still have a profound impact on our daily lives and emotional well-being. Everyone has their own unique version of it. Some may have many dense and complex layers that need to be worked out, perhaps over months or years. This was me. And some may have less, but related to particular triggers or events. To begin the process of releasing these samskaras or stuck emotions, we must first establish a foundation within us. This foundation is the recognition of our true nature as this infinite beingness. You can still resolve and release much of it without recognition of your true nature, especially if you have a healthy resilience and inner sense of safety and resourcing. But the reason that this is the perfect foundation is when we are resolving and releasing, many uncomfortable or turbulent thoughts and emotions can come up. Without recognition of our true nature, we tend to confuse ourselves with the thoughts and believe that we are the character in the story in our minds, which means we can identify with them and get caught up in them and feel we aren't able to cope. When we are established in the recognition of our true nature, we recognize that we are not our feelings, not the I in the character in our thinking, and are in fact the space of beingness in which the thoughts and feelings appear. We see that what we essentially are, this beingness, is untouched, undisturbed by the thoughts and feelings, and so we're able to observe them unjudgmentally and compassionately. We're able to approach even the most intensely uncomfortable feelings or fearful thoughts and know that we can't ultimately be overwhelmed by them, and that we can bear them, and that they will eventually subside and we are safe. As you approach these sensations and emotions, it's important to approach them with a sense of curiosity, compassion, and non judgment. Rather than trying to push them away or change them, simply allow them to be present and watch as they move or change. With the recognition of your true nature as this space of being, you recognize that you don't have to do anything to allow them. Simply zoom your attention out 100% so that you're aware of this entire space of awareness. You can see that this space of awareness naturally allows everything that flows through it. Any resistance is just another thought, which this space of awareness naturally allows too. If you experience feelings of resistance or you get caught up in the thinking, simply zoom your attention out 100% again. Be aware of this space of being and witness how everything is naturally allowed to flow. Remain as this space as you approach the thoughts and feelings. If you find yourself getting caught up in a challenging thought, you can ask, who is the I who knows this thought? Which can take you straight back to the I am, this simple presence of awareness in which everything unfolds. By simply resting as the presence of awareness, many layers of samskaras will peel back naturally and automatically. A gradual relaxing will permeate itself through the body. The key here is to be impersonal. That means not identifying with the thoughts, emotions, or sensations that arise, but rather recognizing them as temporary phenomena occurring within this vast space of awareness. One powerful technique for releasing samskaras is called titration, which involves gradually approaching the stuck emotion or sensation rather than diving in head first. This allows the body and mind to process the experience in manageable doses, preventing overwhelm and re traumatization. As you titrate your way through the layers of samskaras, you may notice physical sensations shifting and changing, such as the release of tension, a sense of expansion, or even tingling or buzzing sensations. These are all signs that the stuck energy is beginning to move and release. Here's a step-by-step guide on how to perform a deep session for releasing stuck emotions and contractions in the body. 1. Find a quiet place where you'll be undisturbed. Assume either a meditation position or lay down, but be aware that you may fall asleep if you lay down. 2. Close your eyes and notice yourself as this space of beingness, awareness. Observe any thoughts and feelings effortlessly arising. 3. With the spotlight of your attention, slowly scan the body and become familiar with how the body feels, the somatic landscape, the felt sense of the body. Look for areas that are more dense, tense, intense, or uncomfortable. 4. Discard any labels about the sensations and simply feel the raw, physically felt sensations. You can also catalyze the process by looking down with your eyes at the sensation, which can trigger it to be felt more intensely. As you scan with your feeling attention, try to look at that area with your eyes too. 5. Scan to find the most intense or uncomfortable part of the sensation and focus your attention on it. Then simply watch what comes up, impersonally and non judgmentally. Many different thoughts, feelings, memories, or even memories of dreams may arise in layers. 6. Keep watching, naturally allowing everything to come up in sequence. Notice any thoughts and images that arise, but after a few minutes, go back to experiencing just the raw physically felt sensations and then repeat. 7. Don't identify with the thinking. See it as a story with a character in it, but know that you are not ultimately the character. You are the consciousness in which the character appears, and you are compassionate. 8. If there is a fear or anxiety, just feel the nervous energy in the body. Allow the character to be scared and embrace it in loving awareness. If there is anger, feel the anger as intensely as possible without personalizing it. Allow yourself to feel the energy intensely and let the body do any movements that it wants to do. 9. Assume a good posture to help unblock the emotional flow. As you feel the feelings, open the chest and heart area, tuck the chin in slightly, and imagine yourself being pulled upwards. 10. Breathe deeply into the sensations, imagining healing, loving energy flowing into them. 11. If any thoughts or feelings feel too overwhelming, move back to being aware of the space of being. Know that you can do this in stages and stop the process at any time and approach things in manageable steps. 12. As you continue, the sensations may change, move, morph, or dissolve. They may be accompanied by twitching, shaking, which is a sign of releasing. The sensations may eventually move into the throat or face and be accompanied by feelings of sadness or the release of tears. 13. After moving through a layer, there will often be an accompanying sense of relief, relaxation, calm, and inner peace. Take a moment to feel grateful and honor the work that you did. 14. Relax afterwards and give yourself time to rest and recuperate if needed. Don't try and analyze the process too much intellectually, as it can take the mind some time and a good sleep to catch up with what happened on an emotional, somatic level. This process can take anywhere from a few minutes up to an hour or perhaps longer. Longer sessions may enable you to go deeper or eventually have a breakthrough, a big emotional release. It's important to remember that this process can take time, so have patience, and it may involve multiple sessions of varying lengths. Think about this less as a quick fix technique and more as learning an approach that you can use for the rest of your life to break through and transcend old patterns. Approach this step by step and recognize that it may take some time for these layers to be worked out. Be patient, compassionate, and consistent in your practice. Trust that your body and mind have the innate wisdom to heal and release these old patterns. Your body has the innate wisdom to heal. Frame your resolving and releasing journey as an unfolding and blossoming of your true nature. With every release comes a calmer, more focused, more authentic, more expansive expression of you. It can be very uncomfortable at times, but comfort isn't everything in life, and going outside of your comfort zone is often where your greatest healing, evolution, and expansion happens. In addition to this approach, there are other practices that can support the release of samskaras, or these old emotions, and release trauma too, such as yoga, cold exposure, or breathwork. The key is to find practices that resonate with you and make them a part of your routine. The ultimate key is to be able to live in release. Instead of having this as an approach that you go through in sporadic meditations or coaching sessions, begin the process of integrating this into your daily life too. Eventually, you can cultivate a sense of openness in the body where feelings and emotions can be triggered and experienced, but they don't stick and they subside much faster. And any lingering, generalized feelings can naturally discharge and release. As you continue to work with your samskaras and release old stuck emotions, you'll likely feel a lot lighter, clear headed, and more at ease in your daily life. During the journey, you may experience relief from chronic tension in whole muscle groups. Even where previous attempts at massage and stretching failed, these muscles might suddenly relax. Many people also report relief from chronic pain. As the layers of samskaras move through consciousness and release, there may be a noticeable shift in thoughts and perceptions about people or situations that once triggered an intense emotional response. Where there was previously a sense of victimhood, personal grievance, or internal conflict, there might now be a natural movement towards forgiveness, empowerment, peace, or even joy. This transformation in perspective is a sign of deep emotional healing and growth. With every inner shift, you will see a positive corresponding shift in your external reality. When you shift on the inside, everything around you changes. Sometimes it takes some time for it to catch up. Sometimes the changes happen almost instantly. A situation changes or improves, people start approaching you in a different way, or suddenly you have a deep intuition about what to do next to enable your next level of expansion. This approach of simply witnessing the thoughts and feelings come up to be processed, resolved, and released can be extremely powerful on its own. For some people, a more nuanced approach can be necessary or helpful, an approach that includes actively engaging with the thoughts and the story too. In non duality circles, we often overlook and dismiss the story element, discarding it as an irrelevant illusion. But it does hold relevance too. It's the totality, the ultimate, and the relative. Full healing and integration often requires a level of intellectual understanding too. As emotional releasing and resolving happens, so do the thoughts and story move forward in time. And there are some different approaches that can facilitate this, together with accelerating this journey. I can't explain the whole process in detail on this channel right now because it's just too detailed, and a dynamic approach that I often use with clients, which isn't as powerful when prescribed as a kind of do it yourself process, is a team effort to go deep and create inner transformation. All in all, this isn't about needing to change or fixing oneself. It's a recognition of the inherent perfection for things as they are, while simultaneously acknowledging the relative human experience and the steps we can take to feel more peace and freedom within the body and mind. It's about integrating the implications of our true nature into our physical being, celebrating the consciousness that we fundamentally are, and allowing that realization to permeate every aspect of our lives. This has been a comprehensive guide on how to release stuck emotions and contractions in the body. If you want help going deeper in this process, this is one of the approaches I use in my one-on-one coaching program. If transformation interests you, go to speaktoalex.com to book a call to see if you'd be a good fit. Peace.